Hi guys, welcome back. We've got more NA Dota action. We're all getting real cozy here on the couch, enjoying our time of watching and casting some Dota. But we actually have Xoloti versus CompLexity as our next match, which is pretty exciting. Got the all Mexican squad, I believe, versus the NA boys of CompLexity.
Versus the part SEA/NA team.
Yeah.
That is
My
CompLexity.
Yeah.
My boy.
And we've got, I believe Monkeys is still standing in for CompLexity right now. So, Adam, if you're watching at home, hi. And we're thinking of you here for sure. But
Xoloti's up 1-0, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. We are going to take a quick peek at the brackets, though. So we look at NA. And so the big thing that everyone's talking about is the fact that Flying Penguins in Group B took a series off of EG, and they took a series as well off of Team Team. So they're in the upper bracket now. The other side of that, obviously, is EG, and started from the bottom. They'll be duking it out. And here in Group A, we've got, right now, J-Storm is going to be going up against Ford.
No, they've already played, actually.
Oh, they've already played, sorry?
Ford won that 2-0, so yeah, Ford's actually going on in the upper bracket.
And then we've got the lower bracket, which is Xoloti versus CompLexity, so...
Yeah, again, looking at this, the match that we're going to be covering, we're all shocked, I believe. The Xolot's up 1-0 and nothing against them, but this is the CompLexity organization that we're talking about here, and a team that's, a very solid one. But on the other side of it, I have gotten the chance to watch Xoloti recently a couple of times, even as most recent the Open Qualifiers while they're here. They play well as a team. They really do. Obviously, when it comes to top stage experience, they are still lacking, but what better way to get it than here in these major qualifiers? So I am very excited for Game 2.
Haven't they kept the same roster now for like
I believe so.
A long time. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I can't say 100%, but I believe so. The names all look familiar since I last cast them. It feels like a while ago now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Ifrit being the big one. A lot of Dota in the last couple of days.
Yeah, but Ifrit being the big one, again, he's had history in general in the NA scene on several teams back in the day, a couple of years ago now. But he's their carry player. But across the board, solid team. And again, up 1-0.
Yeah. So I know this is a slightly different region for you to look at, Kip. So you've got our SEA knowledge and the CIS on lockdown usually, but we do have, some of these other teams. Are you familiar with Xoloti? I know you probably heard the name, right?
Yes, and I have also casted them before, I think about half a year ago in a qualifier.
Okay.
I seem to indeed remember that I was impressed with their team play before, although Ifrit, as the one name that I knew, did not particularly stand out. But that's also a good sign, I think, because, yeah, if you're playing as a team, you're not necessarily, relying on that one star to carry you through. So for me, like this matchup is way more about, man, I wish CompLexity got to show what they actually have. Because you were talking about me having SEA knowledge, right?
Yes.
Miracle is on that team now. Adam brought Death in, who is one of the more talented free agents there was on the planet, I believe, at that time. He was he top of the SEA leaderboards yet? He was very close as an offlaner. Okay. And I believe that's a guy with tremendous skill. And right now, they are trying to play with their captain, with this guy that's been trying to, give this team a direction, a purpose, help these SEA guys out in a new country, and he's not there. And that just makes me sad, man.
It's understandable. I mean, they have been playing with Monkeys now for a little bit because of the visa issue, so it's not like it's completely new right here. And Monkeys, he's kind of one of these mercenaries, the term that I like to use, that not only has he played for CompLexity before as a stand-in, but, several other teams. So he's kind of used to it, and in a sense, Z-Freak and Limp at least are somewhat used to it. I will say the biggest thing that they are missing, though, is that the fact that Adam's their drafter, and he's their, strategist, right? So the fact that he's not here, that's the biggest impact for me. No matter how skillful you are as Monkeys is as a player, you can't really replace that. And Death is doing their drafting, I believe, in-game, actually.
We had that conversation on the card, too, right? Talking about, how a good captain is something that's very, very important, that you're able to, communicate with your players, that you're able to, assess their needs. And drafting, obviously, is a large portion of that as well. But it's why, people keep going back to the same tried and true captains and wanting to be a part of their squad because they know how to coach out what's needed from those players, which can sometimes be very difficult because you play and you play and you play, but if you don't have that direction, sometimes you're not sure what the next level is, what you need to be improving more on. So
And Adam's interesting too, that again, he's not necessarily new even this season. He played with him in the TI qualifiers last season, of course, with the whole Kyle situation there. So yeah, it goes back to it's unfortunate he's not here, but he's not. You know, got to move on. Is what it is. Whatever you want to say.
And we have a draft. So let's move on to that.
Much different bans than the previous game, but again, we saw a lot of player-specific bans.
There's no Eternal Envy here to remove from the board.
Yep.
Well, the Ember Spirit, the PA as well, as we pointed out. So, yeah, those were interesting ones there. But this seems a little more typical. Grimstroke being the one that stands out to me the most because, again, we're just now starting to cast NA, but at least in South America, CIS, it feels like Grimstroke hasn't been highly valued lately, both ban-worthy or even pick-worthy in some cases.
Well, it's interesting, too, to see how the meta is just changing, right? Because we did just get a new patch, and there were a couple little nerfs, you know, going out to the Grimstroke. And also, I believe there was a slight nerf to Lich, who's like one of the, very popular pairs. It's nerf. Not really, that big of a deal. Same thing goes with, the Tusk saw a little bit of a nerf, but he still merits, a ban right off the bat. So do get the Lich Juggernaut lane. We've talked about how strong that is, being able to, put that Frost Shield on your Jug and also have the Sinister Gaze as he spins around in circles and murders whoever's in his lane.
Going to be played by Miracle. That's how I pronounce it, by the way.
I've done that too.
Well, I do that on purpose because, one, it's some American, but two, I don't want to confuse him with Miracle.
That was a lot of Miracle.
I can't get away with this.
All this terrible look like, oh please.
It's fine. I was actually going over
Razor,
to the other side.
I'm sitting here talking about Miracle.
Miracle.
But jokes aside, he's a fantastic core player. I feel like he started really breaking out last season on some Southeast Asian teams. I forget exactly off the top of my head where, but when he was signed up by CompLexity, the transformation this season, that was exciting for me. He was one that I really knew. Death, not as much. That's interesting to hear, though, as Kips was talking about. Very high success on the ladder there. But, Miracle has been fun to watch for CompLexity. I know, it's...
I did the same thing. I think, what was I casting? I think it might have been with Donnie, actually, for a different qualifier, and we just kept referring to him as Miracle because, he
got that from me.
That extra R in there, yeah, probably. I think I was the one who did it first. Or not first in general. I just mean
I did it first, Moxie.
In the cast.
I claim it.
All right, that is a breakism.
I believe I mentioned him before as well as the guy who gave me traumas about
the Naga
Siren build on everything. He doesn't just go that well. I presume he doesn't do it anymore, right? But Man's Radiance on everything, including Lifestealer. So hopefully he doesn't do that on his Juggernaut now. I have a feeling he won't.
This is Kip's begging right now. Just please don't give me PTSD on that. Thank you.
No, it works way better in the SEA region when you have these teams that really want to fight you, and you can just split push the game out on your own if you're as talented of a player as Miracle obviously is. So I can really see why he did that back there, but no, I imagine much more traditional Jugger build this time around.
And no Radiance Juggernaut here. Although Lifestealer, that's something we've been seeing a little bit, not only the Radiance, but the Manta follow-up, actually. So I don't know if he used to think for that or what, but it's had some value there. What are we doing, by the way? Earth Spirit should be on the other side.
Oh, should he?
Yeah. Earth Spirit's on the Radiance. Or the Dart. Yeah, but backwards. Okay.
All right, go on, Breaky.
There we go. I'll go on this side.
Help her out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did actually do it backwards again. Man.
So Juggernaut over there. Over there.
You also need to work on your sliding. You feel how hard that is with your left hand?
I wasn't trying.
Yes.
Razor right here.
10 seconds
Earth Spirit.
remaining.
That was good. No.
Way easier with the right.
Except Earth Spirit's probably over there.
Are we getting a Dart?
I just wanted to get it in at that point.
Seer on CompLexity? They just banned out the Oracle.
Possibly, yeah.
That is, again, usually the direct counter, not only to that, but also the Lich, right? Being able to purge off the Frost Shield and whatnot.
Good against Razor in the sense of surging out of Link range. So that too. I would not be surprised to see a Death Dark
There
Seer.
it is.
Good choice.
Oh, that one's yours now.
Yeah, it's all different now. I'm
we gotta
unfamiliar.
keep you guys on your toes, moving you around, right?
Luckily, I put that one in front because there is double the heroes over there. It is a lot harder.
There we go.
All right. Very nice. Beautiful.
I watched a lot of Wheel of Fortune.
I think Lifestealer was actually also a very clear ban into that because that can usually lane against the Darkseer just fine. And now they really have to deal with that guy. Either by, putting a Doom opposite, I guess, doing a whole farming agreement thing, or on the other hand, just straight up laning into it. but they can't really stop him from pulling creeps under the
you kind
tower.
of just accept it. We've
because of
seen that.
the Oracle ban. It's,
Is there really nobody else? I guess it is Oracle, huh? I'm trying to think of like this purge, this idea that could counter. You know, we did see Chen early on against Darkseer. Hear me out. You get the purge creep, and you throw that up against Darkseer's Ion Shell constantly. So, Xoloti, if you want to win game 2, pick a Chen.
I don't think that promises they're going to win the game 2, but
yeah, he's up there.
He's already looking for it. He's like,
getting it ready.
Where's my Chen? Where's my Chen? It's almost your time to shine, buddy. Very confident on that.
And you're thinking, like, can you play that?
It's not happening.
No, I can't really play it, but it is such a good pick this game.
I did.
This is great. It's like I'm listening in on the team of Xoloti right here. Give us more insight into their drafting.
I don't know how to say, how do you play Chen in Spanish? I don't know if that works there.
I'll look at Moxie now. She speaks the language.
Yeah,
you
speak
a
Spanish.
A little bit. My comprehension is way better than my speaking. For sure. That's all I need is to like say the wrong thing in Spanish right now. Ruin all my cred.
Dazzle.
Now, so they do have a Razor. Typically, we see the Razor in the mid lane. Do we know if Xoloti has been running a Dazzle, though, in the off lane or in the mid lane? I know we've seen it sometimes in the off lane, not quite as common. And then you could run the Razor in safe, maybe, to mix things up. Do we know?
I don't know them enough to say that, honestly.
Good as well, but like you don't want to run the Razor into the Darkseer because he just surges away. No link for you.
As far as like the matchup purpose here, I think an offlane again into a Juggernaut might not be bad, right? Like a core Dazzle into a Juggernaut in that lane.
Oh, it would be pretty good.
Actually be decent. So maybe offlane we could see. But yeah, Razor I would expect to be in the mid.
I would assume that as well, but just playing devil's advocate here, you know?
So
we've been seeing some interesting drafts coming out of NA so far today.
We have, yes. Nyx Assassin.
That is, who? I think the last time we saw the Nyx Assassin was SEA, right? So Tim's was playing it?
No, there was also a Zai Nyx Assassin earlier today.
Right, in that secret game.
Radiant team back.
And Anti-Mage. There we go. So we're going to outscale the Juggernaut.
Okay.
Very sure.
That Frit Anti-Mage.
Nyx Assassin is an interesting pick to me, though, because I don't quite see...
Is it going to be an OD pickup? Is that why? Because typically, you know, you don't like to see the Nyx Assassin and the OD on opposite teams.
Yes, but right now a lot of people pick the Pugna into the OD anyway. Sure. I guess if you're expecting that to get banned, for example. And I was thinking about what kind of position 4 you're going to run with that Darkseer. You usually want something tanky. I was thinking, okay, the Sven is still free. You still could pick up an Elder Titan, but yeah, this Nyx must have an extra reason behind it, because otherwise I'm not sure why you'd go for it.
I expect Carapace decent against Razor, I guess.
Solid. Like,
and Earth Spirit, and, you know, some of these heroes.
You have some uncontrollable damage. You can stun them out of a lot of things for sure, but it's not like as fail-safe of a pickup. And I also like it when a Nyx Assassin gets stabbed some space, where, you know, there's a couple of towers go down, you have the dark space on the map where he can move, either give the information or actually snipe people down with, well, we had old Invoker combos, for example. Pretty good, or Zeus would also do very well. So they could also be building up towards something like that.
Limp does not play Invoker, I can guarantee that. Unless he's been practicing it like crazy lately, you know. But yeah, he's one of those mid players that it shocks me to this day that you can almost get away with that. But right now, Invoker happens to not be that good, to be fair. So, but yeah, the Nyx Invoker synergies, that Sunstrike potential would be big. But yeah, we're not going to see the Complexity. The DK
the Nyx was picked up before the Anti-Mage, right?
Yeah, and then Anti-Mage was quick reaction.
Yeah, so you know that if Nyx is, you know, an anticipation pick for, you know, them wanting to run an OD themselves or something like that, Anti-Mage is a very logical choice as well, just because there's a big int hero coming out, most likely. They could also have Medusa in mind, although Medusa on the top of a Juggernaut is a bit... that would go pretty far.
Limp Viper, I don't know if I would necessarily expect, but they banned the Viper, and I'm wondering, though, is that telling of something? What he brings is like that break effect, which I guess right now would have been okay against Anti-Mage, and In the matchup against Razor, he would have been one of the better heroes, sure.
Ooh,
Or
It's
that
that
might
one.
be why.
there's the Huskar.
I was gonna say it, but
You should have cut me off. Please
I
do
did
it
the count.
all the time, please. I talk too much.
it's impolite.
No, that's. I mean, yeah, you would have been absolutely right to call that.
So what's the solution then on CompLexity? What's the limp hero that's going to be able to face off with this Huskar?
Rough going. I'm thinking of a lot of like medium hero matchups that don't do it very well.
Lina is good.
Gonna
Okay,
outrange
limp
him.
Lina
Okay.
is very good.
Did you manage to find the Huskar before,
Oh, I wasn't
or just?
looking, no.
All right. So that
He's
does
lagging,
mean,
Berkey.
by the way, that the Razor is banished over to a side lane here. If they're running the Huskar there, I believe they would be.
Yeah.
So
Unless he doesn't like that matchup. I have heard that Lina is considered one of the stronger heroes against Huskar in that laning phase. So because she can put out just as much harassment on him than he could usually do to most.
5 versus 5.
yes, and she's most likely going to get more out of the jungle in the meanwhile. So they might indeed want to switch that up. Although I think that Razor
Is Razor much better? Probably not.
probably not. No,
Yeah.
she outranges him by quite a bit. So
Okay.
interesting drafts over. I really like that Lina pickup on the end there. If we are moving into the predictions, I would just like to call CompLexity already, please.
Okay, good. I love it. I love it. It's nice, fast. Shows a lot of conviction on that. What about you, Breaky? I know you have a complicated relationship with CompLexity.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at right now with them. That's the thing.
You need to call him, man. Just say how you really
tried to
feel.
Rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. Just call him up and be like, CompLexity, we have to talk.
I like the Lina response. Limp Lina sounds like it could be potentially scary. I'm gonna go with CompLexity. I'm gonna say we're gonna have a game 3.
And I'm going to get right on that CompLexity wagon. I like the draft. I like the Lina pickup at the last second. It's looking good. So, again, of course, production going to go for Xoloti. Because they always have
When
to fight
won't
us.
they?
But you know what? It's better. I'd rather have someone be contrary than, have a full sweep.
Except when it's Navi.
Yeah, when it's Navi, yeah.
Yeah, and that was just easy points, man. Can't shy away from the points. I'm a devil's advocate, but not that much.
Right.
Lina, she is going into an anti-mage. There might be some problems there later on when she's, got that huge mana pool, and anti-mage can just dunk her. But otherwise, it's not that amazing of an anti-mage game, I'd say. He'll do well. He's gonna have some trouble pushing into the Darkseer wall, for example, but nothing too bad.
Whose laugh is that? That's horrific. Is that the Darkseer?
I think it's the
Darkseer,
Darkseer, yeah.
Oh,
It's
God,
what he does when he notices that your head is not as pointy as his.
Ah, got it. Right. Indeed, it is not. But I don't think I've heard that one before.
I don't imagine a lot of people have spammed Darkseer enough to get to those
Well,
lines,
we've
to
been
be
seeing
fair.
a lot of Darkseer in these calls. Maybe it's time, right?
But not a lot of people like to pub him.
That's true.
So I may or may not have run into that issue lately.
Got some really nice aggression coming out here from Xoloti. And that's not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing him.
So they're dodging on CompLexity, putting the Lich Juggernaut off lane right now. Death solo on that safe lane. And yeah, the Nyx going here as well. That's a... Nyx is not the greatest roamer, but he's always a bit of a liability in the laning phase. So they better get quite a bit out of this aggressive try. Otherwise, he's going to have a hard time catching up.
This has been the age-old saying with this player Z-Freak that he's always been credited as one of the more skilled players, especially in the NA region, and up there amongst the best of them, especially when it comes to position 4. But criticism constantly was that he was being played on these much more slower heroes that can't have high impact in the game. And I'm kind of feeling that here with the Nyx Assassin. As you already even pointed out in the laning phase, can tend to be a bit weaker. And Nyx doesn't scream to me somebody that's going to control this game completely. So that's where I'm not a huge fan of CompLexity's draft, but I'll still stick with my prediction.
You don't get to get out now anyway.
Yeah, it's too late. You can't turn back now. Cannot turn back now. Yeah, I know. It's always so fun to watch Z-Freak, especially on those playmaking hero sort of things, like his Rubik, right? Is always like a real big treat. But in the top lane, we do land the Impale. We get the spin off as well. This Razor is looking pretty dead right now. And that's going to be Monkeys Forever drawing the first blood.
Well played by Miracle there. It doesn't matter if you have 0 right-click damage if you're just using the spin damage for the kill instead.
That's that opening combo that they picked. I mean, again, Lich Juggernaut is the reason why at least one of those heroes may be banned in the first 3 on either side. And if you let a team get them in succession, then First Blood especially is on the menu for said team. In this case, CompLexity, and they're going to TP to the bottom lane.
Okay.
Match up with the AM down there, force him to go back to the top, I'm sure.
Which is like the AM TP'd down there as well, I believe. Now, enough time might have gone by that he can teleport again. No, he's stuck here for a little bit. That is valuable time.
Sure, CompLexity is pretty happy about this. Top lane just gets linked up over here. Surge coming through those E-Freak should easily be able to break that chain. And Illusion Rune over here in the mid lane. We'll see some harass coming out over onto Limpet. They'll be able to dish it right back out.
Yeah, Lina that much better now against Huskar, of course, ever since that 7.20 change, and that he no longer gets that magic reduction. So her Laguna Blade, her whole skill set obviously is very, very powerful. As top lane, Yano goes down on the Razor once again. That's a second death. He is clearly having a struggle up here.
Guessing we're seeing a lot of these Impales land real nice.
Yeah, and that was with the different heroes, right? First was the Lich Juggernaut, now he got Nyx as well as the Darkseer.
Well, like you expect to see it coming out from the Lich Jug lane, especially if they have a good start, but like it's a little bit more difficult, I think, right?
Yeah.
When you, especially because Nyx was the hardest stun to land in the game.
We have seen plenty of whiffs.
Indeed.
So they're committing to have an anti-mage down here at the bottom lane, even despite that next death. I suppose if you transition, it's just as bad anyways, and they're kind of just accepting that fact. But the laning phase is looking very good right now across the board for CompLexity. As you take a look at the CS in the top left corner, all 3 favoring their side. Kinda. Anti-mage bouncing around.
Close enough.
Yes, the AM just got the wave back a little bit. Is also because CompLexity hasn't been pulling. And I'm sure that they'll get right on that now to deny the AMs of some of his farm. Yep, there we go. Because they weren't really set up on Xoloti to do this aggressive lane and stay there, so they haven't blocked, I mean, actually, hey, they have blocked the camp, so they could have invested into this more heavily. That's interesting to see him play so far backward then. All right. But yeah, you can, on the Radiant side, you can always pull that big camp as well if you got another tree.
I feel like that's been like the most popular lately too, is just going and pulling it over to the side half the time in these games.
Well, one of the reasons is why if you pull the small camp with your support, you can actually get killed by the enemy +4 and your carry can't really do anything. Whereas if you pull it here, you're going to be reasonably close together anyway. And you can also contest together after you mop up the wave. And is Hector trouble?
It's looking like it. Yeah, they're all grouped up in the corner over here. It looks like Monkeys is going to probably get taken down, though, first. And they should be able to find a kill on Hector. Yeah, it's going to actually be Miracle finish it up. They don't have that frost shield. No mana left over here at all over on Miracle. It's just kind of a war between who can click the fastest and hardest, I guess. But
well, as soon as his mana's out, he clicks the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, up until that, the anti-mage definitely had an advantage.
This will be fine there, but go back to Limp is just dominating the middle lane. Not dominating, but he is winning the middle lane. Again, maybe as you'd expect, he has 5-minute runes.
Oh, they're trying to surge up so they can contest it, but the kickback, that's my rune, thank you, sir. Z-Freak not going to be able to go and get it.
And Lina does lose her high ground ward now, so that's a little bit of less pressure.
Monkeys is dead.
Taken out.
Yeah. Poison
touch, man.
What I remember when that was like not even like that good of a
people just didn't even level it.
He didn't level it.
He leveled it maybe for the stun that it applied at level 3, I think, at the time. Yeah, it's
Limp is just so good at this hero. Like every time that you see him come up for any sort of last hit, you see the Light Striker A come out, a couple value clicks.
He's a very good mid player in general. It's been #1 on the ladder in both Europe and NA throughout history. So.
Right.
In which game? I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Actually.
Looks like Z-Freak might have found some friends that he does not want. They actually throw out that Frost Shield. Might be able to turn around, do a bit more damage here to the Dazzle. Go to pop the Shrine. He's actually going to be okay. And Lich chasing after him. Doesn't have that Frost Blast up just yet. Gets it out last second. They're trying to block just a little bit. And they don't have quite enough damage, though, to take Ektor down. Stone flowing.
Oh, nice little juke.
Oh, too greedy. Turns around and spots that rune there, but...
I love that guy's name, by the way. Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. It's a fun name to say. There's my analysis.
Thank you, Breaky. Now back to you, Kips.
I was hoping for a little bit more there. I was gathering my thoughts again.
Right.
You get that with my my brain parts sometimes.
Brain parts, yikes.
Needs sometimes to move.
And then the classic of the Impale. Looks like Monkey's going to be taken down again, but that was a very aggressive blink coming out from his AM. I don't think they're going to be able to catch him, though, as he's kind of juking around through the trees. They don't really have the lockdown. And Z-Freak just casually poking away over at this Earth Spirit.
I was trying to answer this bottom lane a little bit more, though, being aggressive down here. Now, again, CS still favoring CompLexity fairly heavily, but the fact that it's only 1,000 net worth lead, even despite that CS dominance, I think is a bit telling. This game's not a runaway by any means early on. And, you know, you do have Huskar, going to recover in the jungle, at least using the life, everything really on the jungle camp there. Going to build up the armlet, of course, and then we can start seeing plays of him. Even just the double bracer alone, 2 crushing claws on top of that, but the double bracer, the magic resistance that he now gets, and the life pool, that'll feel a lot more comfortable as the game picks up.
Yes, and he's going to have a Dazzle to Graven as well. Can't forget about that.
Oh yeah, true.
Otherwise, he's going to be really mad if he doesn't. But Frost Shield coming through, and we'll be able to clean up on Pikachu.
We're going to be rhyming a lot with that, I feel.
It's a very happy sound. Just even the sound. I think it's just weird. I mean, Breaky and I are a generation that grew up with Pokemon. I know you're a little bit younger.
Digimon, actually.
Oh god, Digimon. Not
yes.
like this.
A way better theme song.
Not like this.
Like Pokemon for me
bring
is...
out the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Do you want to talk Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I don't want to talk Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to talk Dota 2.
Alright. Fine, there's no Legion Commanders in this game anyway, so I suppose I can save my jokes for later.
There you go.
Kaiba.
Get me out. Nice rolling over here. Looks like Lim might be for a little trouble. We'll use the Laguna. It doesn't quite have enough damage to take down the Huskar. There's going to be a rotation coming out from Z-Freak. Limp actually still alive. He's still trying to get some of these Burning Spears damage. They're not going to be able to save the Lena, but they do find the Earth Spirit. And now Z-Freak forced back, although does have that Frost Shield over here. The Grave is on point as per usual. And it looks like one more hit. Can they get it off on it for the one? Oh, but the Shadow Wave, they get it. One more hit.
Nope.
No, it's not more. Oh
Too
my
much.
gosh.
Z-Freak
is not dead. It's dead. It's a triple kill in the mid lane.
Well, welcome to Huskar, ladies and gentlemen. This hero's been doing this for centuries.
You gotta give hats off to that Dazzle too.
Yeah,
Dazzle
obviously.
Dazzle spells on point.
Without the Grave, I mean, that doesn't happen at all.
That little extra bit of that Shadow Wave at the last second.
The fact that, what level is Dazzle, by the way?
Dazzle is level
5 now. Okay, I thought he was even a little bit. He actually goes 2 in a Grave early on. I think that is more of the Huskar factor.
We got a Huskar.
Yes, otherwise I don't think he'd ever be doing that.
No.
But that was a very worthwhile rotation for them. And suddenly where CompLexity before was leading in all 3 lanes, it's now mostly just this Death.
Death and a Centaur as they just run down Ano over
or
here.
Or Jano, yeah.
Forcing the TP out though. Should feel pretty good. Earth Spirit making his way to top lane. Centaur actually still alive and kicking.
This has been a theme, though, with this hero just across the board. This hero just gets great farm in the laning phase, from cutting the creep wave, you know, abusing the Iron Shell. We pretty much always see these early Helm with the Dominators, I feel like. But, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that the game is going to look 100% the best. So we've seen it go both ways. He's not a hero that can take over the game. It's just more of like, okay, you're going to have some of these auras a bit earlier on, which... But the pace right now is Xoloti. There you have a Huskar is coming online as he's picking up the armlet here, I'm guessing, yeah. So that could play a factor there. But
very nice timing for him. He's going to be very happy about himself.
Going to put a lot of pressure out.
Top net worth now, by the way. Talk about ugly laning phase, and all of a sudden 3 kills. I guess it does that. Is he really just going to do Roshan? I guess so.
Why not?
Just walks right to it. Why not?
Top tower is getting taken down, though. We do have a rotation coming out from Miracle. Z-Freak sitting nice and sneaky-like over here in the trees in case anyone decides they try to defend it. But Huskar here is all just going to town over here on Roshan. Needs to be careful with these dashes, though.
God, seeing those armlet toggles.
Careful armlet toggles here.
Oh, it's going to happen.
And death is not a killing spree, though. It does find the killing.
No, keep it on this. Don't worry.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's watch this because...
Don't do it. Don't do it. One more.
He's got it.
He's got it.
And that's a double kill. All right, he missed 2 kills on the top lane.
That was fantastic. No,
you know,
that was good job.
the suspense was palpable during that entire time.
I'd much rather watch that anyways.
But that's my boy Death. No, I agree. Like a Darkseer running people down.
Oh.
He's a little bit lower. I think Z-Freak would have gone for it.
And I really like how Miracle is meeting up with both of his other cores here and just pushing these towers. So Death got the job done on top lane. Now he's over here on the bottom lane. And it's a nice early Aegis. Don't get me wrong, it's very good to have that. But on the other hand, your side lanes are getting pressured. You're losing towers, and that's just team gold as well.
All right, Limp making his way over here to the mid lane. Knows that we do have that
kills him.
Aegis.
Oh.
Light Strike just a little bit off the mark there.
It actually might not have killed him, now that I say that. Not looking at his life pool and again the double bracer, but would have been close.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah, so with this Darkseer now having had the lane that he has, I agree a lot more with seeing the Nyx pick. It's really working out for them right now. He has a dark space. The lanes are going to spend some time bouncing instead of being up against the towers all the time. So there is some space on this map as well, where Xolot's teammates can't just save each other when the Nyx goes on them.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Limp's doing what he can and create pressure in that middle lane. He sees second highest level in the game right now, level 11, but you know, Huskar, first one to hit level 12, so just, again, the turnaround he had from that middle matchup. Fantastic news for Xoloti, and he's been moving around a little bit, and they're trying to find this next assassin. Sentry, perfect placement there. Nice job with the spike carapace, though. Magnetize going to be applied. Z,
if he hits the courier?
Walking? No, he couldn't get the courier. They cut it away, and he's out of range of the sentry now, too, so he'll actually survive, at least for now.
Are they going to try again? I don't think they have any more detection for him. So yeah, nice bit of time wasted. Yeah.
I do like how he just keeps creeping out and trying to find like either the anti-mage or the Huskar sitting really, really low. In fact, look at this. Oh, so close.
Wow.
Those were some spidey senses as well. Oh no, it's a sentry. That is a really good job by the supports of Xoloti as well. If you're behind after the laning stage like this, neither of these supports are going to be feeling great. Look at their net worth compared to the Nyx especially, but they bought those sentries anyway. You know how much that hurts.
Yes, I do. I hope. Trust me, I do. But it makes sense. You absolutely have to protect your jungle, especially if you've got these heroes that are forced to jungle. Will be sitting very, very low, and they have a Nyx assassin. There's just no way that there's no excuse not to have them.
Yeah, if that sentry's not there, he's 100% dead. So absolutely worth it.
Z-Freak just constantly keeping tabs. They do have a sentry ward over here. He walks into vision. He knows now. Will get jumped on by the Huskar immediately. Spike Carapace, still think he's dead. Yeah, definitely, especially with that dusting. But while this is going on, Razor is going to get taken down by an Omni Sash in the top lane. And looks like Limp has found a kill on Ifrit. Okay. Every single lane getting some protection right now.
This is a very action game.
Yeah, I believe Scriff was talking to us before about those kills where you're like, how did that happen?
Yes.
And that one definitely qualifies.
Question mark.
Well, I wondered, did she have like an invis rune or anything? Yeah, just simply walked on up. And
he's got a Yules.
Got a Yules, okay. So it does have our first big item.
Just right.
And, okay, add the invis rune, yeah.
Instincts on point there.
Makes a lot more sense.
Well, you hope that there was an invis rune, right?
Yeah, again, it was a little, without having any information, that's a very odd kill to happen, but that makes a lot more sense. Good aggressive ward here.
Detective CPK.
On the case.
Get him a Sherlock hat.
I'll take one.
We could use it with all the snow here in Sweden, right?
See, 15-minute runes, and then Hector just deciding to leave that one to his teammates. Still a 50-50 split here on him.
Maybe he was afraid that there was someone lurking over there at that rune too. Sometimes they like to bait, right?
Monkeys, R.I.P.
Yep. It's gonna hold him in place though, and maybe allow anyone to show up. Nope. No help. Just wasting time holding him in place. Use your spells if you're gonna die.
I mean, he had an Aegis too, so even if they do react to that, it's definitely an overcommitment. You just sacrifice your Lich, be happy with it. you know, what's done is done.
Just telegraphing to everyone, hey, look, I'm over here, guys. Doesn't know it. They have dust on anyone? Oh, they've got the sentry, though. There's silence. Roll through, not going to quite connect. Still walking underneath that sentry, but I don't think they're going to chase because they've got their eyes on the prize, right? They've got this tower, objective-based gaming, and, oh, the dust comes out. They know that Z-Freak's here. They do get the teleports coming out as well. Lich going to be able to throw out the Chain Frost. He's going to hope he can get some really nice connections here, but it doesn't look like it's on his side, and the rest of them, they're going to back off. Yeah, it's all the way over there. That's really interesting. Death now trying to be careful here. Looks like they do find the kill over onto the Lich. The Shallow Grave getting used over onto Dazzle. They're going to jump over onto this Darkseer. He's going to get taken down, and now it looks like it's Limp against the world. Get the Light Strike Array off. It's going to try to juke through this tower, juke through the wall. He's got Miracle nearby as well. They lose Ector, and they should be able to lose this Jug right now. That Omni Slash is chopping through, and the Laguna. Pika 2. Pika dead. Yano?
He's fast.
Yano?
Got more phase boots. Yeah, he's going to be fine, it looks like, unless an Impale connects. I think it's just out of range, though, so.
Z-Freak's still on the hunt, though. Look at him.
Yeah,
come
see
back.
how close that is.
Come back.
He wants him to get greedy, but Yano's
I want to touch you.
No touch. No touch.
No touching.
That looked so good initially. I mean, that was like a 500 gold streak going the way of Razor, actually, as they killed Darkseer, but that's when they should have pulled back, because, you know, diving a tier 2 tower like that with Miracle coming over was only going to spell doom at that point, and it clearly did. And they set up the turn, the Omni Slash just one-shot the Huskar at that low life, and obviously we saw what happened. Now, Huskar, very intriguing item pickup here. Actually decides to go the Blade Mail on top of the armlet.
Z-Freak in a potentially tight situation as Limp goes and murders, you know, Ifrit again, I guess.
Did he find another Invis rune?
Another Invis rune, I presume?
That's a double damage rune.
Oh, they managed to find the kill on Z-Freak as well.
Nice aggressive vision coming out.
This is on point. The turnaround, trying to protect his teammate over there. Nice Dragon Slave being thrown out. They're trying to just push them back. I don't know if they want to necessarily go in. So they do have the Laguna Blade, but of course, you got Miracle sitting a little low.
He's going to be all right with that healing ward.
I don't think he wants to go in right away, though. Maybe give him a moment.
Yeah, and I think that those sentries, however irritating they are for Z-Freak, are honestly more of an economical burden right now than they are an advantage, because he died like twice, maybe, to all of these sentries, and that's, I see 500 gold worth of sentries on the board.
True. But I'd also,
more.
right, you're also concerned, like, already if Rit's having trouble, Lina is jumping him every chance that she gets. But if you don't have those words up, how many more of those deaths are going to come out too, right?
Well, they're just sentries, not even like regular vision.
Well, no, I'm talking about with Z-Freak chasing around. But Miracle just going to be able to turn around nice vacuum coming back. They'll find a nice kill here. And there's Spirit rolling back in. He's going to get the Omni Slash right to the face. Pika 2 is out of here. Party Horn. And Ector does not want to stick around. Look at Z-Freak, he's so swift though. It's actually not going to find him. He's going to turn up instead of going towards the shrine.
Something we overlooked here, and I'm frustrated at myself because I haven't bring it, because I actually like Nyx Assassin potentially for the kind of niche of it. He has a break now on his Vendetta. It is a 4-second break effect that he applies coming out of Vendetta. And we saw it right there actually coming to play against Huskar. So again, they banned Viper as middle lane. That's another kill for Limp. He's going off, man. Kills Hector, but they banned Viper for pretty much that reason, right? As well as maybe the laning phase, but the fact that they still have a solid break effect.
That's true.
Is great news for CompLexity. And yeah, they're looking at an 8K net worth lead all of a sudden.
They're feeling good right now. There's another one of your favorite sentries getting placed down here, Kips. Definitely necessary, though. They're going to try to... yeah, look at them.
In this case, yes, because you can get the cutoff kill on, you know, this pincer movement.
Yeah, I saw it activated there in that last fight. It reminded me. But yeah, Limp, 10,000 net worth in the game right now. So Battle Fury's online at least for Anti-Mage. Still a bit of ways to go, though, as we always go back to.
I don't think he's had it nearly long enough to know. He's having a very rough game, especially with those 2 deaths to Lina. So they can climb their way out of this hole, but it's going to take a long time. And I think the biggest problem for them here is that they don't really have anyone left to make space with. Normally you'd want either that Huskar or that Razor to be fully online right now, you know, just steamrolling through these engagements. Or, you know, at least being able to trade with CompLexity. But right now there's no trading, only dying. And I think they're going to do some more of that as Z-Freak comes in from the side.
They do have the Earth Sphere nearby, but they'll get the vacuum off all with the wall, and they'll get that shallow grave. Not going to be able to save that Earth Spirit, and it's not feeling like they're going to be able to save the Huskar either. Yeah, there. Down goes Lusk. Ekdor running himself away. Z-Freak, again, just being an annoying bug. Just, you know, zoning him out, saying, all right, you got your shallow grave off, but your Huskar is dead, so...
Now what?
Now what, exactly. What are you going to do? Poison touch me? Ooh.
That used to be scary.
Oh, no. What a disaster. There goes the buyback. The dieback now.
That's a party horn-worthy moment,
yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. I don't know what they do right now. I mean, what is... Anti-Mage going to try to probably split push, get this courier. Can't even get the courier. Feels bad, man. Some Pepe hands. And they're just going to turn their attention to the top. They've got really good momentum right now, and they don't seem to really have a solution to deal with, especially with the Huskar dying back the way that he did. Very different game this time around.
Yeah, you see the Alpha Wolf also there, enhancing damage.
There's going to be the jump forward. Okay, they go for the Mana Void. Anti-Mage trying the best they can. They do get that Chain Frost off. Not going to get the bounces that they want, but the spin doing so much damage will be able to go throughout the shallow grave, but they're going to lose Auto, and they're going to be able to chase down the Dazzle as well. Roll forward again, Earth Spirit. He doesn't want to give up. He wants to do anything he can, but that's a triple kill going over to Miracle.
Good attempt from the Anti-Mage, but sadly he really is not ready to fight, and when the team survives, Death just heals them all right back up with those Greaves, and it
I think they just
looks
finished.
Like game over.
Yeah.
They're going to force GG here.
Yep.
And looking at how much of a slaughter this is, I am actually...
attacking.
Like, normally you don't see a game 2 like this out of the team that just got defeated, right? Because Ifrit was Xolotl was up 1-0.
Yeah, I don't know how the game went. I would actually now be curious to check that game 1. But, you know, we've sometimes also seen games where one team dominates the first game, even the underdog team, and then all of a sudden kind of, you know, puts the in this case, Complexity like in check. Like, all right, we need to now play our A game.
Yes, that would most likely be the case. Because with like the decision making from Xolotl, for example, the fight that they took on that bottom tier 2, as we said before, they should have backed off at a certain point. They were not really making space, but just chasing for kills and getting punished for it. The fact that they didn't get any use out of that really early Aegis that they got as well, it's just all of those things indicate to me that this is a team that's, you know, they're playing well, they've got skilled players, but they don't quite know what they want to do with it. And that's an excellent engagement!
Big stun coming through there. The follow-up with the Dragon's Life, the jump forward. Doesn't matter, they get off that Chain Frost. It's just the GG.
Yeah.
After that.
That's it. It's kind of it already, to be fair, but,
yeah,
they gave us a little more of a show.
The nail in the coffin.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so I was already delivering the post-mortem. I suppose that's a little bit impolite when Complexity clearly wanted to show off a little bit more.
Yes. Give us a little bit more of a show there at the end. But no, Complexity, again, even now thinking back that this Huskar, normally you could be confident with it when you pick him up. We see it banned so often nowadays, but they did respond with the Lina, which again in the laning phase and even throughout actually is one of the better options against him. And they already had that Nyx Assassin. I didn't point out in the moment, but as we saw throughout the game, and obviously I would assume Xolotl was aware of that. I would hope so themselves. Maybe an oversight there with the Huskar pick.
Definitely possible, but gave us a nice monologue during that. Any final parting words on this particular match, Skips?
I'm a bit torn on like what I want to see for the next game. On one hand, you know, there was apparently a first game that went the way of Xolotl, so I would like to see, you know, a closer game third, just because, you know, I want to see these two teams give it their all. On the other hand, if I look at how much of a stomp game 2 was, let's face it, then I'm not sure that getting a close game 3 is actually representative of the strength of the teams at all. So in terms of like, you know, the better team getting rewarded, I hope for Complexity to get a good draft again and roll this series up.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm sure Xolot's going to take their time. They're going to have to go reset. We see this happen a lot where the teams, unfortunately, they might get really stomped, and then they need to just kind of clear their heads, think about the next game, and move forward. But we will. Let's get our predictions on here.
Across the board.
Yes, very
we all
nice.
picked Complexity.
We all pick Complexity.
We
So
all did.
for production.
Of course not.
Eat it, production.
Got it.
We're getting yelled at now. Yikes. Never invited back to DreamLeague, guys. But
I didn't say anything.
we do have the brackets up here looking at the standings. So whoever ends up, again, we talked about this, winning this match, whether it's CompLexity or Xoloti, will be facing off with Jace Storm.
Yeah. Ultimately, everyone's still in it. No matter what happens here, but again, it's just the bottom two go to the lower. Obviously, top two go to the upper bracket, as we say.
All right, well, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll see if Xoloti can get themselves back into this game or if CompLexity is going to remain dominant.